Hi, I'm Assemblymember Sam Hoyt, and I want to wish you all a very happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. When we last spoke via video, I talked to you about my desire to hear from you about what your priorities are for me as your representative when I return to Albany for the next legislative session. That was 2 weeks ago, and since that time, I've heard back from many of you. We actually set up a Facebook site and heard from over 75 people as to what you would like to see me prioritize. And I promised that I would report back to you with my legislative agenda and my priorities for Albany during the next legislative session, and want to talk to you about that today. The third year in a row where we're dealing with very significant budget deficits, and it's going to be a great challenge to all of us in Albany to address that deficit, reduce spending, while not increasing taxes. Governor-elect Cuomo, Speaker Silver, and I believe the Majority Leader of the Senate have all said that we can't increase taxes. That's the position that I've taken for the past 2 years. It's the reason I have voted against the budgets for the past 2 years. And I'm anxious to work with Andrew Cuomo and my colleagues in Albany to make sure that we responsibly reduce spending in our state budget and do so in a way that hopefully does not dramatically impact the services that we provide here in New York. Last year, we were able to pass a very, very important bill that established the historic rehabilitation tax credit for New York State, which by many accounts will be the catalyst for hundreds of millions of dollars of private sector investment in our upstate cities. We're already seeing this happen in Buffalo. I'm hearing about great successes throughout the upstate cities in New York State, but I've also heard from developers and investors otherwise that this legislation might need to be modified. Governor Cuomo, Governor-elect Cuomo, has already indicated his support for eliminating the deferral of this particular tax credit, which was included in the budget bill of earlier this year. I'm going to work with Governor-elect Cuomo to make sure that that happens, and I'll work with developers and other interested parties to find out ways that we can address that specific issue. Another regional priority, and I think a priority for most of us in the Western New York area, is UB 2020. UB 2020 is the ambitious plan to establish the University of Buffalo as a world-class research institution that has the potential, in my opinion, to dramatically improve the economy of Western New York. I want to also continue my focus on education reform, the quality of our public schools, particularly in the urban area. It's unacceptable. Inner city parents deserve choice. Improving our charter schools and making sure that they're all high-performing charter schools, but also improving the quality of the traditional public school education always has been, always will be my top priority, and we will continue to emphasize that going forward. Marriage equality hasn't happened yet, must happen, top priority. I would like to see it happen this legislative session so that all people can enjoy the same rights equally in the state of New York. I've often talked about the need to reform the state authorities. Andrew Cuomo talked throughout the campaign about the need to reform and reduce the number of state authorities. In fact, he said it's not even known how many state authorities exist in the state of New York. I've introduced legislation that will immediately eliminate 130 state authorities. I have another bill that would eliminate the possibility of employees at state authorities who aren't in collective bargaining units from receiving bonuses. They should do their job, accept their pay, and move on. They shouldn't receive bonuses. We need an independent redistricting commission. We are in the process of going through the reapportionment and the realigning of assembly districts, Senate districts, and congressional districts in New York State. It has forever been a political process. It ought to be an independent commission that determines what the lines are for our state and federal congressional representatives. That will continue to be a priority for me. I support Andrew Cuomo's efforts on a property tax cap. It ought to happen. It ought to be the first thing that we do this legislative session, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to continue doing that. I've heard from a lot of people about the need to continue supporting the arts, our arts and cultural organizations, which here in Western New York are such an important contributor to our economic vitality and the quality of life of our region. Our county executive doesn't seem to think that they're important. I think they're important, and we're going to make sure that we provide the necessary funding for them to continue to operate and to be successful. I want to work with our comptroller, Tom DiNapoli, who recently announced that he wants to introduce legislation that would prohibit any state employee who is convicted of a felony while doing their job from receiving their state pension. That's ludicrous. People ought not to be rewarded for illegal behavior after they've committed a crime, a felony, while in their public office. Governor-elect Cuomo and I have worked hand in hand for a number of years now on reducing the size and the scope of and the cost of both state government and local governments. I believe Andrew Cuomo has decided to make this a top priority in his administration. As the chair of the Local Governments Committee, I am fully committed to supporting his efforts and his czar, Paul Francis, and others who are going to be spearheading the effort in Albany beginning January 1st. Bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, is I'm anxious to return to Albany. I still have the fire in the belly to improve the quality of life of all of the people of the 144th District. And I'm optimistic, despite the challenges that we're confronted with financially, that under the leadership of Andrew Cuomo, our new governor, and the renewed passion from people like myself, we're going to have a good year. It's going to be tough with the budget crisis, but we'll get it done. I encourage you to keep in touch. Contact my website, samhoyt.com. Call my office, 885-9630. It's going to be a good year. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your continued input. Happy New Year.